is up, guys? EJ here, back with another video, and today it's going to be my DVD collection 2016 drama part 2. So last time we finished with the C's, so starting off with the D's. Up first we have Dallas Buyers Club. Terrific film from 2013. Oscar-winning performances by Matthew McConaughey and Jared Leto. Jennifer Garner, really good as well. Really good movie. Up next we have Dead Man Walking from 1995. Fantastic film directed by Tim Robbins, which of course starred his wife, or partner at the time, Susan Sarandon, and Sean Penn. Great movie about a death row inmate. Up next we have the classic Peter Weir's Dead Poets Society from 1989. Great performance, of course, by the late Robin Williams. Up next we have Dertsu Utsawa, if I can say that right. Directed by Akira Kurosawa. One of his great films from 1974 in Japanese and Russian. Okay, up next we have Diner from 1982. Good film from the early 80s. Bunch of young good actors: Steve Guttenberg, Daniel Stern, Mickey Rourke, Kevin Bacon, Timothy Daley, Ellen Barkin, Paul Reiser. Okay, up next we have the classic 1965 Dr. Zhivago. Just a beautiful looking film. Great movie. Okay, up next we have Federico Fellini's La Dolce Vita from 1960. Fantastic film, one of my favorite Fellini movies. I also have it on Criterion Collection. Beautiful Anita Ekberg right there. Anouk Aimee, Marcello Mastroianni. Great film, great looking movie. Up next we have Doubt from 2008, I believe. Really good film. Great performances by Meryl Streep, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Amy Adams, Viola Davis as well. Up next we have The Dreamers from 2004. Great Bernardo Bertolucci film, of course, with Ava Green and Michael Pitt. Of course, got the original uncut NC-17 version. The only way to go on that movie. Great movie about film. Lots of great nudity as well. Up next we have the Oscar-winning Driving Miss Daisy, featuring Jessica Tandy, Morgan Freeman, and Dan Aykroyd. Up next, also from 1989, we have Drugstore Cowboy, terrific film with Matt Dillon and Kelly Lynch. Okay, up next we have East of Eden. Great movie produced by Elia Kazan, featuring James Dean, of course, in one of his only few films. Up next we have An Education, fantastic film from 2009 by Lone Scherfig, featuring Carey Mulligan, Peter Sarsgaard, Alfred Molina, Rosamund Pike, Dominic Cooper, Olivia Williams, Emma Thompson. But Carey Mulligan blew me away in that film. I thought she was fantastic. Up next we have Elephant, great movie from Gus Van Sant from 2002, I believe, or 2003. Of course, about a high school shooting, sort of dramatized the events of Columbine. Up next we have The Elephant Man, one of my favorite David Lynch films from 1980 with Anthony Hopkins and John Hurt. Up next we have Elizabeth, of course, from 1998, sort of the film that introduced Cate Blanchett to most people. Fantastic performance by her, Jeffrey Rush, Christopher Eccleston, Joseph Fiennes, John Gielgud, Richard Attenborough. Really good film. I wasn't a fan of the sequel, Elizabeth. I guess it was called The Golden Age or something like that. Yeah. Really a film that didn't need a sequel. Up next we have Elmer Gantry from 1960, I believe, with Burt Lancaster and Gene Simmons. Up next we have Enigma, really good war drama from 2001 with Dougray Scott, Kate Winslet, Jeremy Northam, and Saffron Burrows, about the decoding of the German Enigma machine. Next we have Escape from Alcatraz, One of my favorite Clint Eastwood films. It's not a Western, from 1969. Fantastic movie. Yeah, just a great film. Up next, we have Evelyn from 2002. Really good film. Great performance by Pierce Brosnan with Aidan Quinn, Juliana Margulies, sorry. Yeah, really good film about a Irish father fighting for custody of his kids. Next, we have The Fabulous Baker Boys from 1989. Great movie with Jeff Bridges, Michelle Pfeiffer, and Beau Bridges. Next, we have Elia Kazan's A Face in the Crowd. Great film from 1957, starring Andy Griffith and Patricia Neal. Next, we have Sidney Lumet's Failsafe from 1964 with Henry Fonda and Walter Matthau. Sort of a bomb scare movie. Really good, tense, good film. Okay, moving on down here. Up next, we have Fair Game on Blu-ray from 2010. Yeah, really good film with Naomi Watts and Sean Penn. Up next, we have Ron Howard's Far and Away from 1992 with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman. Beautiful cinematography in this film. Up next, we have Finding Forrester from 2000. Yeah, directed by Gus Van Sant. Really good film. One of Sean Connery's last great performances. F. Murray Abraham, good in this film as well. Good movie about a writer. Next, we have Finding Neverland. Yeah, great film from 2004, of course, about J.M. Barrie, the writer of Peter Pan. Johnny Depp, Kate Winslet, Julie Christie, and Dustin Hoffman. Just a really good film. Up next, we have 5 Easy Pieces from 1970. Great film with Jack Nicholson. Looking forward to picking that up on Criterion Collection. I think it comes out later this year. Or maybe it's only still part of the American box set release. Anyway, moving on. Next, we have Flight. Yeah, great film from 2013. Fantastic performance by Denzel Washington, of course. About an airline pilot who takes his plane upside down. Of course, with Sully coming out soon. That'll be an interesting comparison. Up next, we have Forrest Gump. Of course, classic film. Directed by Robert Zemeckis. One of the best films of the 90s. Tom Hanks, just brilliant. Yeah, Gary Sinise. Wonderful. Sally Field is his mother. Robin Wright. Or Robin Wright Penn. Whatever she was called back then. Up next, we have Frost Nixon, really good film from 2008, I believe, with Michael Sheen and Frank Langella. Really good supporting cast: Kevin Bacon, Rebecca Hall, Oliver Platt, Sam Rockwell. Up next, we have Fruitvale Station from 2013. Yeah, terrific movie, based on a true story, of course, starring Michael B. Jordan, Octavia Spencer. Very sad and tragic circumstance, that film. Of course, very, very relevant these days. Up next, we have Gandhi from 1982. Fantastic film, of course, by Richard Attenborough. Yeah, featuring great performance by Ben Kingsley. Up next, we have Gentleman's Agreement, Best Picture winner from 1947. Gregory Peck, Dorothy McGuire, and John Garfield. Get more comfortable here. I'm kind of reaching. Sorry about the shakiness of the camera, but you guys should be used to that by now. Up next, we have Giant, fantastic film from 1956 with Liz Taylor, Rock Hudson, and James Dean. Up next, we have Girl Interrupted. Yeah, really good film from 1999 with Winona Ryder and Angelina Jolie, who won Best Supporting Actress that year for this film. Up next, one of the best films of the 90s, we have Glengarry Glen Ross from 1992. Fantastic cast, just a really cool film. Al Pacino, Jack Lemmon, Kevin Spacey, Alec Baldwin, Ed Harris, Alan Arkin. Up next, we have Gods and Monsters. Yeah, great movie from 1998, directed by Bill Condon, of course, featuring Sir Ian McKellen, Brendan Fraser, and Lynn Redgrave. Yeah, great movie if you love Vincent Price and all those classic old school monster movies. Next, we have Gone Baby Gone from 2007, of course, the first film that Ben Affleck directed. Terrific movie, Casey Affleck, Michelle Monaghan, Morgan Freeman, and Ed Harris. God, I always end up taking out the tape of some of these. Next, we have Gone with the Wind, of course, classic from 1939 with Vivian Leigh and Clark Gable. Just a fantastic film. Okay, up next we have Good Night and Good Luck. Yeah, I think the first film or second film that George Clooney directed from 2005. Terrific performance by David Strathairn. Patricia Clarkson, Clooney himself, Jeff Daniels, Robert Downey Jr., Frank Langella again. Up next, we have Good Will Hunting. Definitely one of my favorite films of the 90s. Fantastic movie directed by Gus Van Sant from 1997. Of course, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck won best screenplay for original screenplay. Became big stars after this. Robin Williams, best supporting actor. Minnie Driver. Just a fantastic movie. Up next, we have Grand Canyon from 1991. Really good Lawrence Kasdan film featuring Danny Glover, Kevin Kline, Steve Martin, Mary McDonnell, Mary Louise Parker, and Alfre Woodard. Sorry. Up next, we have Grand Hotel. Great movie from 1932 featuring Greta Garbo and John Barrymore, Lionel Barrymore as well. Up next, one of the best films of the 40s, The Grapes of Wrath from 1940, directed by John Ford. Fantastic film featuring Henry Fonda. So of course, based on the book by John Steinbeck. Up next, we have Cecil B. DeMille's The Greatest Show on Earth from 1952, featuring Betty Hutton, Charlton Heston, and Jimmy Stewart. Great movie about the circus. Up next, another one of my favorite films of the 90s, The Green Mile. Yeah, Frank Darabont's follow-up to Shawshank Redemption with Tom Hanks, Michael Clarke Duncan. Yeah, just a fantastic film. Absolutely love this movie. Okay, up next we have Greenberg from 2010 on Blu-ray. Yeah, really good film with Ben Stiller and Greta Gerwig. Up next, we have Guilty by Suspicion, I believe from 1991. Great film with Robert De Niro. Going a little bit faster because I need to get to the end of the J's. Up next, we have Hamlet from 1996. Yeah, the 96 version, directed by Kenneth Branagh, who of course stars in the movie. Fantastic cast in that film. Next, we have Hearts in Atlantis from 2001. Yeah, interesting film with Anthony Hopkins. Next, we have Peter Jackson's film Heavenly Creatures, of course, from 1994, the first film that Kate Winslet starred in. Yeah, great movie. Yeah, really interesting. Okay, up next we have The Heiress from 1949, I believe, directed by William Wyler, with Olivia de Havilland and Montgomery Clift, Ralph Richardson. Up next we have The Help, of course, from, when did this come out now, like 2011 I want to say, or 2012. Yeah, great movie with Emma Stone, of course, Jessica Chastain, Octavia Spencer. Okay, up next we have Kenneth Branagh's Henry V from 1989. Yeah, really good film. Okay, up next from 2010 we have Hereafter, a film directed by Clint Eastwood from 2010. I already said that, with Matt Damon. Yeah, really good. That's interesting. Eastwood on the picture on the back there. Up next we have Higher Learning. Yeah, interesting movie by John Singleton back in the mid-90s. I think it was 95 or 96. I forgot that Jennifer Connelly was even in this, but yeah, Ice Cube, Omar Epps, Michael Rappaport, I remember him as the skinhead, Christy Swanson, Lawrence Fishburne. Really good movie, but sort of about racial tension in college. at the time. Anyway, up next we have Hitchcock from 2012. One of my favorite movies of that year. I thought Anthony Hopkins was fantastic as Alfred Hitchcock. All about the making of Psycho, Helen Mirren, Scarlett Johansson, Toni Collette, Danny Houston, Jessica Biel. Yeah, just a terrific movie. Up next we have Hollywoodland from 2006. Yeah, really good film. Really good performance by Ben Affleck in this movie as the original Superman. Aidan Brody, Diane Lane, just an old school sort of mystery. Up next we have Hotel Rwanda from 2004. Of course, film directed by Terry George, featuring fantastic performance by Don Cheadle, Nick Nolte as well. Okay, up next we have The Hours from 2002. Yeah, three great actresses, Meryl Streep, Julianne Moore, and Nicole Kidman, who won Best Actress for this film. Probably after she should have won either for Moulin Rouge the year before or something like that. Up next we have How Green Was My Valley from 1941. Great movie featuring Walter Pidgeon, Maureen O'Hara, and Anna Lee. Up next we have HUD, a great film from 1963 with Paul Newman. Up next we have The 100-Foot Journey from 2014. Yeah, really enjoyable movie about cooking and food. Helen Mirren, Autumn Puri, Charlotte Le Bon, who I liked a lot in this film. Up next we have The Ides of March from 2011 on Blu-ray. Yeah, really good political drama with Ryan Gosling, George Clooney, who I think directed the film. Philip Seymour Hoffman, Paul Giamatti, Marissa Tomei, Jeffrey Wright, and Evan Rachel Wood. Up next we have The Illusionists. Yeah, when the hell did this come out? It came out the same year as the other magic movie that year. The one directed by Christopher Nolan, which I'm forgetting the title of right now. Anyway, really good film. I want to say like 2006. Edward Norton, really good. Paul Giamatti and Jessica Biel. I'm completely blanking on the name of that other film. Anyway, The Imitation Game on Blu-ray from 2014. Really good film. Sort of like Enigma. With Benedict Cumberbatch and Keira Knightley. What's it called? Anyway, In America from 2004. Really good film about Irish immigrants. Of course, with Paddy Considine. Up next from 1993, we have In the Name of the Father. Great performance by Daniel Day-Lewis and Emma Thompson. Maybe this was 94 actually. Okay, up next from 1960, I believe, we have Inherit the Wind with Spencer Tracy, Frederick March, and Gene Kelly. Okay, up next we have The Insider from 1999, terrific film directed by Michael Mann, Al Pacino, and Russell Crowe. Just a fantastic film. Great performance by Christopher Plummer as well. Up next on Blu-ray we have J. Edgar from 2011. Yeah, really good performance by Leonardo DiCaprio as J. Edgar Hoover. Clint Eastwood film. Up next we have The Joy Luck Club from 1991, I believe. Yeah, great film about Chinese immigrants set in San Francisco. Up next we have The Judge from 2014. Yeah, really good performances by Robert Downey Jr. and Robert Duvall. Up next we have Judgment at Nuremberg from 1961. Terrific movie, of course, about the war trials following World War II. Spencer Tracy, Burt Lancaster, Richard Widmark, Marlena Dietrich, Judy Garland, Maximilian Schell, and Montgomery Clift. Up next we have Julie and Julia from, when did this come out now? I think 2008 or 2009. Really good performance by Meryl Streep. Of course, as famous Julia Childs and Amy Adams trying to trying to cook from her cookbook for like a year straight and blog about it. I really like Stanley Tucci as well in this as Julia Child's husband. And last but not least, ending on the J's, we have Julius Caesar from 1963, featuring Marlon Brando, John Gielgud, James Mason, Greer Garson, Deborah Kerr. So that's drama part 2. Up next, of course, will be drama part 3. So thank you for watching as always, and until next time, I'll see you.